Tonight, we're taking you to the front lines of the fight of the pandemic through the eyes of a local ICU doctor. For well over a year, he's been forced to have morbid conversations with COVID-19 patients who aren't taking the virus seriously.
Deep inside, you're almost like crying because you know that there's a very high chance that that patient is not coming back.
Health experts say this current COVID wave may be fading away, but another surge could hit at any time. And tonight, one doctor talks with us about the coronavirus possibly impacting us every single year.
The problems that we are going to have going forward are going to be entirely proportional to the number of people that are vaccinated.
This is WFTV Tonight.
This long week of school mass debates and rallies, often getting out of hand, is now over. It is Friday. We've made it, sort of. Good evening.
Kind of.
I'm Greg Gorman.
And I'm Martha Segalski. Most Central Florida districts have settled on a policy as a court battle over parents' rights plays out in Tallahassee. But will the guidelines change for future COVID spikes? Nick Papantona has asked a doctor that very question. Nick is live in Winter Springs for us right now to show parents what they can expect in the months and years ahead. Nick.
Yeah, doctors expect COVID to keep coming back in waves, eventually turning into something annual, sort of like we see with the seasonal flu. Now, you pair that, though, with kids having low vaccination rates, including among the grade levels that are eligible to get the shots, and you have a situation where we could be seeing these fights playing out again and again. Now, some parents are hesitant because they're worried about the long-term effects of the vaccine on their child, and we do want to clear the air about that. Scientists say the vaccines stay in your body for about the same time as your dinner does, 72 hours, enough time to get into your body, tell it how to fight COVID, and then get out.
Now, Nick, some parents are also concerned that the vaccines are nothing more than a pharma cash grab. Do you have any information on that?
Yeah, we do, actually. The Pfizer CEO told analysts last year that he's selling his company's product for about 20% of its market rate, about a fifth of what they could be charging. He said they're going to switch over to that market rate price when the pandemic is over. Live in Winter Springs, Nick Papantonis, WFTV Tonight.
All right, Nick, very interesting. And new data from the Florida Department of Health released tonight shows an overall downward trend in coronavirus cases after 3 consecutive weeks with more than 150,000 new infections. Florida reported fewer than 130,000 cases this last week. That is the lowest total since late July. While cases overall are slightly dropping, infections among children are the highest they have ever been. And Alexa Lorenzo continues our team coverage on that topic in Orange County. And Alexa, Central Florida students have been back at school for about 4 weeks now, and officials at schools say that they feel the need to revisit safety policies, right?
Greg, because they were seeing cases, exposures, quarantine, scares in a lot of these classrooms. So this week they sat down and reviewed whether they needed to put a mandatory mask in their district, a mask policy, all while taking into account that the majority of their kids still aren't eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine for kids 5 to 11 would be the same composition, the same mix, but it would be a smaller dose. Without getting too scientific here, Pfizer's vaccine for kids 5 to 11 would be 10 micrograms. Everyone else ages 12 and up got a 30 microgram dose.
All right, Alexa, the news for 5 to 11-year-olds being eligible for the vaccine in late fall or early winter is no doubt encouraging. But then there are parents who are saying, what about the toddlers and the infants? They are getting sick too.
Yeah, what about everyone else, right? That timeline is a little less certain, Greg. Those trials are underway, but all health officials are saying is that they hope COVID-19 vaccines for toddlers and infants gets the green light soon after kids 5 to 11. Soon after, of course, not very telling, little vague still there. Reporting live, I'm Alexa Lorenzo for WFTV Tonight.
And with numbers showing a bit of a decline, Seminole County health leaders are hopeful we are on the downslope of the Delta variant. Seminole County is currently seeing about 300 to 400 COVID cases each day. The county's positivity rate has dropped to 16%. Seminole has double the amount of testing available, but it still is just not enough. Test sites are busy all day long.
And this Labor Day weekend, the CDC is urging the unvaccinated to not travel. If you have the COVID-19 vaccine, the CDC says go ahead and travel, but wear a mask and consider your risks. hundreds of thousands of people expected to fly out of Orlando International Airport over the holiday weekend. We talk with travelers who say it is busier than they could expect.
What does it feel like traveling this Labor Day weekend?
Well, a little nervous. A little bit.
Muffled nerves there. Saturday expected to be the busiest travel day at OIA during Labor Day weekend. So if you get out there early. So let's break down the latest data from the airport. It is encouraging. There's more than 4 million travelers passing through OIA. They did that in July, and that pushed the airport's yearly total past the total from 2020. And remember, we have not hit the holidays yet. The airport says almost every airline operating at OIA added seats, with Spirit, United, and Southwest leading the way.
The head of a local intensive care unit says he's losing about 5 patients a day from COVID-19. He says too many people are not taking the virus seriously until it's too late. He spoke exclusively to our Lauren Seabrook today about what's happening at the end of these patients' lives. That was Lauren Seabrook reporting. At the beginning of this pandemic, we were told about 50% of the patients who go into the ICU do not survive, but now that doctor says it's about 70 to 80%. If you want to get tested, get a vaccine, or just want more information about the resources available in our area, we posted it all in our coronavirus in Central Florida section on WFTV.com.
The search for clues in a 15-year-old missing person case expanding now. The new tools being used to try and find out what happened to a woman who disappeared right after filing a sex assault charge.
What we want to do is really get into the isolated places, go and find any place that is isolated, then we can get into there and take the dirty water and make it clean.
Fresh off a trip from helping survivors of the earthquake in Haiti, how this humanitarian who lives here is now helping those affected by Hurricane Ida. Tom?
And partially because of Ida and the circulation around it, we have a front that has stalled all the way south over Central Florida. What this means for your holiday weekend. And now, Larry, the third major hurricane of the season. I'm updating that and what else I'm watching in the tropics.
We literally planned this show to make sure that it doesn't waste your time.
Nancy Alvarez and Christian Brewy for Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning.
We're going to make it as easy for you to get all the news that matters to you in a quick fashion.
Bringing you the major local news happening right now.
It's something to get you ready and get you informed.
And preparing you for what's next.
To provide all the latest information that is going to help you get through your day.
Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.
The search for clues continued for a second day in Titusville today in the case of a woman missing for a decade and a half. Investigators believe she was the victim of foul play in 2007. Tissa Gant filed a sex assault charge against a local man right before she disappeared. No charges have ever been filed, but a person of interest gave investigators a tip on Wednesday about possible evidence in a vacant lot. Her family is waiting and wondering if the years of not knowing will finally end.
I am totally prepared for them to find a bone or anything, just anything of hers. They found a purse before in the past, you know, but we want to find a limb or something, just anything to come to a closure with this, you know, because we deserve this.
Crews brought in ground-penetrating radar today in hopes of finding some clues. The work will continue this weekend.
OUC wants to remind customers to conserve water as it deals with a shortage of liquid oxygen, which is being used to treat COVID-19 patients. The utility company told us it received 2 liquid oxygen tanks today, but it was expecting 7 of them. When the shortage was first announced 2 weeks ago, OUC said water consumption did drop by a little bit, but it's now back up to 84 million gallons. OUC says the decreasing number of COVID-19 hospitalizations is giving them hope, Martha.
Well, this afternoon, a relief mission from Brevard County touched down in Louisiana with nearly a dozen water purifiers. As Melanie Holt shows us tonight, the man behind Air Mobile Ministries has flown relief missions around the world, but this one is personal. He just is always there when anything
upbeat,
happens.
positive, does it on, it's just volunteer basis and goes and does it.
What a blessing he is, Tom.
We've needed him a lot, though, lately.
We've been using, he's been doing this for decades.
Yeah, no shortage of natural disasters. Right now, we are looking at pretty quiet Friday night in Metro Orlando, and we did get a lot of rain today. 2.7 inches of rain at the gauge here at the station. Right now, we still have a weak front that normally is not this far south. In fact, this would be far south for a month from now. But we had an unusual big Hurricane Ida and helped to crank down this front that's now stalled. There's really no big difference behind it, but we're going to start bringing in some drier air tomorrow. But you can see where we had some good rain totals today. It was in a narrow channel right along the Florida Turnpike and kind of right on through the heart of Orange County. Now, as far as tomorrow, we're going to get a little bit of rainfall, but I'm going to keep the rain chances pretty sparse until late in the day. Here's Saturday. Most of the day looks great. Our rain chance about 20 to 30% here. We'll do about the same on Sunday. I think a little bit better chance for a mid to late afternoon shower on Sunday. We'll still have that weak front, but it will start to wash out. All in all, not a bad upcoming Labor Day weekend. For Lake Como, Orlando, look at that low rain chance and high temperatures still in the low 90s. Holiday Beach weekend, sure, why not? Only isolated storms. Temperatures mid to upper 80s. The water temperature in the 80s. Still have a moderate risk for rip currents. We may see some more long period swells coming in from distant Hurricane Larry, but probably not till Monday into Tuesday of next week. Here's Claremont. Not much rain for you either, but a higher rain chance moving in early next week as moisture starts to return. And we're going to keep close tabs on the tropics. Larry is not a threat for us. It's going to be a big major hurricane, already a major hurricane. Cat 4, though, over the weekend. Very close to Bermuda. Could get close to Nova Scotia eventually. But this Invest 91, it's over land right now. Let me jump ahead to Monday. This is the American GFS model, and it continues to show at least some modest development from this Tuesday into Wednesday. Notice it doesn't have a lot of these concentric circles, though. That's good. That would mean that would be a hurricane. That just looks like a blob of rain. So we'll keep an eye on this, see if it wants to develop a little further. The upper level winds are not real favorable for development, which is good, but it's over the Gulf of Mexico, which is not good. So we'll keep you posted there. Otherwise, a great weekend. Enjoy it. Only a slight chance for mainly late day showers and thunderstorms. A little bit higher chance for rain Monday, Tuesday, and we'll keep an eye on that little tropical blobby blob, if you will, out there for Wednesday into Thursday next week. Martha?
Is that what you learned in weather school? Blob?
I made that up.
Blob, blob, blob. All right.
Blob, yeah.
It's another busy Friday night for high school football teams all across Central Florida. Sports anchor Joe Kepner is putting the finishing touches on tonight's edition of Football Friday Night. Catch all the action in about 15 minutes. And next, why a shortage of bus drivers in a local school district is making it even harder for students without a permanent place to call home to get an education right now.
Download the WFTV weather app. Get a localized forecast from Tom Terry. Just search WFTV. Brought to you by the law offices of attorney Dan Newland.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now, 407-888-8000.
There is no going to bed for Mother Nature.
It changes so quickly.
When that storm starts to really get severe, we're not waiting. That we can give you early warning.
Earlier than anyone else. And with our technology, we could get down to street level.
Glide Doppler 9 radar, we get data from it every 30 seconds.
We can see hundreds of miles out.
We are tasked with taking all this data, putting it into context
to keep you and your family one step ahead of our storms.
So that's just what we have to do.
From mask mandates to student quarantines, the pandemic has touched nearly all aspects of school life.
In Osceola County, a shortage of school bus drivers is making it hard to keep up with the large number of families without a permanent place to call home. Compounding the issue, the district is experiencing a bus driver shortage. We found out there are about 70,000 students enrolled in public schools in Osceola County. More than 3,500 are considered a part of families in transition.
Some of these families will literally move overnight, and we won't know about the change for a couple of days, and then we're scrambling essentially to get a bus and find a bus that might be in the area.
Osceola County school officials know and realize that life can be unpredictable. However, wherever possible, they'd like you to let the district know about a move as soon as you can. Well, for the first time in more than 5 years, Disney is about to open a new ride at Epcot.
Got some good food, I'm told, as well. Climb aboard REMY'S Ratatouille adventure, and we'll show you how it's part of a bigger makeover at Epcot after this.
Doppler 9 radar is driven by Toyota of Orlando, I-4 New Millennium Mall, and Toyota of Claremont.
We haven't reached Labor Day yet, of course, but things already looking like Halloween at Universal Orlando. The park's Halloween Horror Nights started tonight for the 30th year. Now, the pandemic, of course, forced Universal to pause last year, cancel the event. Halloween Horror Nights will include 10 haunted houses, 5 scare zones, and 2 shows, and I'm sure the little ones don't want to go
No,
yet.
we will not be going.
We'll go to that, though.
Disney is preparing to open its newest ride at Epcot, but today we got a sneak peek of REMY'S Ratatouille adventure. As Christopher Heath explains, the location of the ride is part of Epcot's broader vision as the park continues to evolve. You get off and you have the champagne and the crepes, and
I love how it's immersive, though. You feel like you're there.
You do.
It's the whole deal. All right. Orlando's a nice place to live.
I think we're pretty lucky that we're here. All right, thanks so much for watching, and football's up next.
It is Football Friday night on 9. Stay tuned.